babies, direct from the beautiful Inland Blue Studios. Honey, this is the Nerdlife Crisis podcast with your host, that fine-ass Chris Thayer, that beautiful Steve Hale, and that big hunker chunk of meat, Ron Milts. Woo! Mama's hot up in here. Let's get this party started.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerdlife Crisis podcast. Here with your host today,
Chris Thayer,
Steve Hale,
and I'm Ron Milts. All right, guys, we're back for another episode.
We're going to do it a different order and just trip people out. They won't know what to do.
I don't think they'll care, to be honest with you.
I guarantee there'll be people like, it felt weird.
Well, it already feels weird. Once again, we're sitting in the wrong spots.
They'll start a fucking petition
to have us have this episode removed from the canon. Yeah. I think we could do that, though, and no one would care. So
right.
I think there are certain things about the Nerdlife Crisis podcast that you could never remove. There are certain... we have listeners that have come up to me and tell me about stories that is like their favorite. Have you guys ever had that where somebody's like, oh, my God.
A couple times.
I was listening to this story that did like, somebody was like, you were telling a story about Ronald Andrew, or like the fucking one, like I've had a bunch of people, is like Darian with the kid in the bushes. Like when you had the boy that was like at your house and Darian was trying to save him, or some of the early twin stories, like stuff like that where people are like, or Steve with the stop sign, like that's one that people are like, I had to pull over my car, or I had to like walk out of the room I was in because I was laughing so hard.
I gotta find the one about Lauren shitting in my classroom because I was in tears. I had to leave the room because I couldn't stop crying. It was so funny.
Well,
I got to figure out what episode that is.
You know what's funny is going back, we've been doing the best ofs, right? Which is our new. We're gonna, because we are dedicated to an episode a week every week this year, something new. Well, not new, but at least a new release every week. So the best ofs will fill in the gaps whenever we don't record. Me. I don't have any. I never took like a notes or any sort of catalog of what some of these things were. So literally, I am like that, where I'm like, fuck, what episode was Tony on originally? Because I stopped doing special guest with after like episode 20.
Yeah.
I literally had to search through all the episodes to figure out what episode he was on. Okay. And it was like stuff like that, or like me going, shit, Steve told this story one time. I got to find this. Like, where's it at?
Yeah.
Like the sword story. Like, I'm like, I know the sword story. What episode is the sword story in? And I had to search for like a day and a half, like going through old podcasts trying to find like this sword story. So, but yeah, man. So best ofs are been our
times.
Audience has been enjoying them. But guess what, guys? We got an all new episode now. We don't have to talk any best ofs. We got a lot to talk about here. So, where to begin? Let's talk about this Han Solo movie, since Star Wars always seems to be our favorite subject. We are getting another movie in May, a new Han Solo movie. We have not seen a poster. We have not seen a trailer.
A sizzler?
We haven't seen a poster?
We have not had it. We have an official poster that says Solo, a Han Solo. A Han Solo.
Yeah,
That's
nothing.
It. And apparently, according to the interwebs, they are doing reshoots on this movie right now.
I don't think I've even seen any like leaked
nothing
footage. You know, like not.
Does anybody care?
Oh yeah, of course they care, dude. Of course. They're
I'm not at all excited about this.
They're throwing money, you know. They're ready to go. But we've talked about why we're not excited. I mean, it's just, to me, I think we still agree. It's been like this saturation now that Disney owns this, and that's where I kind of stand on it. Will I go see it? Of course, I'll go see it.
Well, but let me.
Am I excited? Not.
Let me ask you this: if it was the Obi-Wan Solo movie coming out in May, would you be more excited? Because I would.
No, because I know what that story is too.
But
Obi-Wan Kenobi went to fucking Tatooine. He fucking got an old lady and a bunch of fucking kids, and that's how he got that goddamn old. And that's what the fucking story's gonna be, dude. You know, he's like, I'm fucking miserable, and finally he's like, you know what? I'm going to get some fucking cigarettes, and walked out the door, and that's when he fucking found Luke.
And they're like, don't trust that old crazy wizard.
Right, he's about to get gang raped by a bunch of fucking Tusken Raiders, and he's like, finally, my out. Why the fuck do you think he put his lightsaber down? Kill me, please.
I don't want to go home.
Right, because
we're gonna win.
Yeah, and then I know where I'm going. Fuck me, dude. So yeah, I seen the fucking. I already know what the Obi-Wan Kenobi story is.
Do Jedis get the 72 virgins when they go to Force Land as well? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. Or else Yoda wouldn't have held out for 900 years.
Right?
He's like, I'm out. Get my little green winky.
Gonna dip his wig.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a cuddle puddle.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't think it would have held out as long.
So you wouldn't be excited about even the Obi-Wan movie if it was in May?
No, I'm fuck with you. I would be.
Okay.
I would be.
I just think I don't know why, but for some reason, a Han Solo movie without Harrison Ford does not excite me.
No. But you know what? We had Obi-Wan without,
Yeah, but that's different.
what's it, Guinness?
Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
I love Alec Guinness.
I
but-
think Ewan McGregor did a great job.
Right.
And everybody's speculating. Ewan McGregor's got a goatee going on right now. What does
He's got
that
a full
mean?
beard.
Yeah,
He grew a
what
beard.
does
like
it mean?
that.
What does it mean?
That motherfucker's
A couple of years ago,
That's what it means.
a couple of years ago, Sideshow Collectibles did a line of Star Wars mythos, and one of the statues they did was the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was like the day that he landed on Tatooine or something, and he's got a Tuscan rifle on his back, and he looks really ragged, and these goggles and all kinds of cool shit, and this statue had so much story in every little detail of it. It does make me curious of like what he did before he met his wife and had all those kids. So, I would see that.
The funny thing here is that I don't know how much of this is bullshit. 'Cause I haven't read all the books like you guys.
No, I'm
No.
just making it up. I've said for years, I was like, he was only gone for 16, maybe 18 years.
20. He's 20 years.
Is it 20 years? So Luke's supposed to be 20? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, in theory, Obi-Wan's only supposed to be like 50 years old, so he's only like 8 years older than you.
You're right. He's super fucking old,
Well, living in the desert will do that to you, because I don't know if
and
you've been out
fucking
to
being married with a bunch of fucking kids will do that to you.
head out to a fucking Salton Sea and look at some of them people out there. They're
They're drinking that water, man.
Well,
You
they
can't
are
drink. Don't drink that shit. It's not
leathery.
good for you.
Go to Palm Springs Con, some leathery folks out there. That's all I'm saying.
Vegas.
But
Right.
to me, it's almost like it doesn't matter what the story is. Saturation. I'm not terribly excited about it, but I will go see it.
But it's like, I wonder with this Han Solo movie.
We're eating nuts if you haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
We love these.
You'll hear
nuts.
the crunching from time to
We
time.
got nuts. We got nuts in our mouth
There
tonight.
we need some sustenance going into this second hour of podcasting today. But I'm curious if, like, do you guys, Ron Howard directed this film, and I generally like a Ron Howard film.
Well, he came in.
Right.
Dude, they reshot the whole film.
Oh, did they?
Like, everything except for, from what I understand, the Lando stuff. But, like, all the Han Solo stuff had to be reshot. Like, apparently it was that unusable.
Wow.
Interesting.
And now they're doing additional reshoots.
Didn't they bring in a new Han Solo, though?
No, it's the same guy. Like, whoever they cast, the Henrik whatever guy. I don't know his name. Steve will look it up for us. But there was, Donald Glover stuff apparently as Lando was great.
Wow. Yeah.
He's a good actor. You're gonna get what you're gonna get out of him. The guy, they've got the new Chewbacca, the guy that was in Last Jedi.
Oh.
So it's like he can do that. But
Are
it's
we
like
going to meet Chewie in this one?
Alden.
he's got a weird name.
Yeah, it's some sort of kraut name. I'm sorry, German. Yeah, I can't. Who are you? Amelia Clark? Yes.
Dude, that's Daenerys.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Oh, no wonder I'm like, how attractive are you? Man.
Our
Anyway.
podcast is now just Steve
Yep.
like surfing
I'm
his
sorry.
phone.
Hey, Warwick Davis is going to be in it somehow.
Hey, I love Warwick Davis.
All right, yeah, new Chewbacca.
Oh, real quick. So we watched. I showed Willow to the boy for the first time.
Did it go over well?
Oh, he loved it.
Huh.
I love Willow, dude. That's a fucking great film. Why haven't they done a fucking sequel to that yet? Disney owns Lucasfilm. Like, jump on it while Warwick is still
Fucking
alive.
Clint Howard is going to be in this. It's going to be golden.
Oh, wow.
Enough said.
Anything Clint Howard's in with his
Exactly.
little Stevie face. Like, he
Exactly.
could just be a new alien type.
Right?
You don't even need to put anything on him. Add some fucking antenna.
That is the feather in his cap, I tell you, dude. That's awesome, man.
Best thing he could have ever done was been related to Ron Howard.
Yeah.
So, helped his career innumerably.
But yeah, it is a little concerning that we haven't seen anything come for this yet.
But they did the same thing with Last Jedi, though, if you think about it.
I think smart.
Like,
Yeah.
I think maybe Disney has decided Star Wars does not need a trailer a year out.
You will be there, and you will give us your money.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I mean, you think about it.
And
like,
you'll complain about it afterwards for the next 6 months.
But you will still buy those goddamn toys.
Well, maybe
Buy those toys.
Maybe because think about it, with
Yes.
all of Disney's stuff, the trailers are not getting released as far out as they used to be with like the Marvel and with the Star Wars stuff.
Maybe they figured it out.
We've got Infinity War coming out in May. We've had one trailer for that because they got released essentially.
You know what was real early, though? Black Panther was real early.
Yeah.
We've been seeing Black Panther trailers for, feels like a year now.
I saw my first one. I didn't see any of the prior ones. I just saw it recently.
I saw it at Comic-Con. So that was like my first introduction was in July. And I'm stoked for that movie. It looks fucking great. But it's like I'm wondering. One, the problem is when you do something that's against the norm, it starts to make you wonder. You know, you start to think like, are you afraid to show me this because I'm not gonna like it?
Right.
You know, do you know it's not good?
Yeah, but you know how they can cut stuff so creatively, man. They can make anything look good. Look at Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Those
amen to
great
that.
trailers, man. You know, movie fucking blew. So
And then some.
yeah,
It's been a while since I've seen a movie that was like I was that disappointed in.
right.
I think it was
Dunkirk.
You know,
Okay, first off,
That
so
trailer was bomb.
Chris somehow saw the movie Dunkirk by Saint Christopher Nolan himself, the god of awesome movie
Fuck
making.
that guy.
What do you mean, fuck that guy?
What's he done? Couple little B movies. Nothing there.
He made B movie? I didn't know that with Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a Nolan joint. No, man, you're wrong. Like Dunkirk is fucking fantastic.
Dunkirk is not fantastic.
I love Dunkirk. Yeah, I thought it was great, man.
See, I don't understand why you guys love this movie.
What did you not like
They
about
took
it?
one of the greatest war stories of all time and tried to play Memento with it and switch the timeline all around, and they took all the action out of it, all the tension, all the build.
I
They
thought I had
fucking made it
nothing
boring as
but
hell.
tension in
Dude,
it.
you already know how it's going to end.
Right.
So what? We know how Romeo and Juliet is going to end in the first speech.
Yeah, but somebody else. Well, this is true.
Oh, I gotta tell you, like, I didn't see
I wanted to like this movie so bad.
the very end. The very end. I didn't.
Spoiler
see that.
alert.
I didn't see that coming.
Really?
Nah, I didn't think he was just gonna like land his plane and spend the rest of the war in a fucking concentration camp.
No.
I mean that's what I was assuming. And they go, it's like Hogan's Heroes, and it's like a whole lot of hotty ha ha, funny fun time stuff. I'm sorry, was that the same war?
No.
Like, apparently not.
And
Yeah,
then
I
the
just-
Germans are like, yeah, we know nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a good time. I love
I
being
just
in a
felt
camp.
like it. I don't know. It was just boring. It was so boring, and I love Kenneth Branagh, one of my favorite actors.
You know what? I just think if with that movie, if General Holdo had told Poe what the plan was, that
Maybe.
oh wait, are we not? Okay, I'm sorry. You said boring, so I just assumed Last Jedi. First hour. No, dude, you're wrong with Dunkirk. Dunkirk was.
I don't get it, dude.
And what action? What more action do you want, dude?
It wasn't even the action. It was
just-
like,
you know what?
We're
Why don't
watching something happen, and then like we're gonna go back 2 hours and watch it happen again from a different perspective, and go back 2 hours again and watch that happen.
It's
from a
only
different-
about one battle, dude.
okay.
I kind of dug the whole 3 different perspectives going
Yeah.
on. I enjoyed
It
it.
bored me to tears.
You know what?
And I love.
You should
World
watch
War II
You
movies.
should stick with Izombie and
Well,
fucking.
you know, Izombie's been renewed, right?
You know
For
what?
a 4th season.
I heard that they're making a female Sherlock Holmes movie.
Are they?
Yeah, with what actress is doing that? Oh, Maisie Williams is doing.
What?
Yeah, she's doing like the sister
No.
of Sherlock Holmes. You could watch that. I think those
No.
are all movies that are right up
No.
Chris's alley. Isn't there a new My Little Pony movie coming out?
Fuck you.
You're not a brony?
No.
All right.
No, man. I mean, I am a lover of especially anything World War II. I love everything about those stories. They're so much larger than life. And this story is so much larger than life. And I feel like they made it small.
Well, it was small technically because
It wasn't small. It's massive.
Well, I mean, this version of the story was about like this one section. It didn't have like all the Churchill stuff and all that, So that's the Gary Oldman movie that's out right now.
Right,
Dark
which I
Boring,
Tower.
really wanna
dude. It
see
was
that.
boring. They had gold, historical gold, and they put out something that was meh for me. And I really wanted to like it.
Chris
I
is waiting
waited
Chris
to
is
watch
waiting for the
it.
fucking plane to like go and fucking transform and start fucking mowing down.
You know how I hate the
Pyramids and
Transformers.
shit.
Dude,
Yeah,
that was
I know.
that new Transformers movie where Bumblebee fought the Nazis. I swear to God, you have to watch it at some point.
That's not gonna
I
happen.
can't fucking do it, dude.
It's
I
so
just
bad.
I can't.
And then you're watching it and you're like, they got Sir Anthony Hopkins to be in this movie, and he is talking to a fun British Transformer that's his like maid. What the fuck is happening with these movies?
And they're gonna make like 5 more apparently. Right?
Apparently so.
They're
man.
making more Transformers
Apparently so.
movies.
They apparently had 14 more scripts already written. To which I'm like, why don't you make one of those good and watchable before you write 13 more? I'm just saying.
Well, I think we can agree that Dunkirk is a great movie.
Yes.
And that Chris is wrong.
Yes.
I
But,
don't know,
you know-
why I didn't like it. I wanted to.
Are you familiar with the term lack of testosterone? Is that
No. Are you familiar with fuck off?
I am. That is what a chicken says when
No, man. I tried. I intentionally waited till I was in the right frame of mind because I didn't want to like have it spoiled by whatever bullshit was going on in the world or in my life or in that it was the right time of day, and it was just it was boring.
Okay, well, with that note, so Chris, first off, fake news. Second off, Chris now enters the realm of people that did not like Bright. If you did not like,
no, I
you just are
loved
with
Bright.
You're just with them, though. Your opinion goes along with the people that didn't like Bright and people that petitioned to have Last Jedi removed from canon.
I don't know,
So,
man. Dunkirk was it's weak, dude.
Chris gonna start a petition. He's like, we
weak.
should have Dunkirk removed from canon.
We should
Historical canon. All right.
get it out.
So back to what we were actually talking about, Han Solo. So
You're trying to get Oscars for this friggin' boring ass movie.
for what? For Dunkirk?
For Dunkirk.
Oh, I love the for you.
They're begging all over the TV, please, for your consideration.
For
please,
your my Facebook has been lit up with for your consideration.
please ignore how boring this fucking movie was and give us an award.
For your consideration, Patrick Stewart
yeah,
for best supporting in Logan. How about that?
absolutely.
Okay.
And same with what's her name who plays X-23.
Dude, fucking Logan. I'm gonna be butthurt when that movie. First off, I don't know how Fox
They're
isn't
gonna
making a
snub
push.
it, but
How Fox didn't make a push at the Golden Globes for that movie. I'm like, Hugh Jackman didn't win for Greatest Showman, and I get it. I still haven't seen it, but I heard it's not great, but I've heard it's good. It's
I'm sure
a mix.
you'll love it though, because it's fucking just like dancing.
I do not like musicals, but I actually want to see that. So
Yeah.
because I like Hugh Jackman. So.
Yeah, I'm not in.
He just wants to see him fucking dance.
I do, and I want to see the
shit.
bearded lady like get down with like the fucking midget. Like I'm in, dude. Sign me up.
Well, now you have my curiosity.
But man, if Logan doesn't get nominated for Academy Award, like if we don't
They're
get
gonna
one
fuck.
acting nomination for
they're
that
gonna
movie,
they're gonna fucking snub it, dude.
Oh, of course
Put
they
some-
are.
They're gonna put some stupid shit.
it's sort of like when Fury Road came out. Like
It'll
Warner
be a
Brothers,
bunch of the 3 billboards is going to win everything.
probably, but Warner Brothers.
That actually looked interesting,
It's-
man. The old lady was really bugging me to see that one. Looked,
I've heard it's
pretty
really good,
Yeah, it
so
looked pretty
that's
cool.
one that's on the list as well.
I mean, it's no Dunkirk, but
You're right about that. It's like 2 very different films. How do you hate on Dunkirk?
it was weak, dude. Weak.
But you gotta love the commercials on the TV. What was the one you were telling us about? The commercial for Dunkirk. It's all for your consideration.
Oh,
Consider us for Foley grip.
4 stars from the. What the fuck was it? It was just, they were listing off all this weird shit like I've never heard of before. It's like from the Redlands Citrus Tribune. 4 stars. And you're like, what?
I love when the movie comes out. It's all best award winner, Chinese Independent Film Festival 2017, and you're like, the what? Like, what did you win for? Did you see, by the way, that fucking Tommy Wiseau, or they won for for Disaster Artist?
Yeah.
That James Franco won Best Actor for Disaster Artist. And there's a great meme of Hugh Jackman. It's all Hugh Jackman's face when you realize you just lost to James Franco doing an imitation of Tommy Wiseau in a movie for an acting category. And it's like Hugh Jackman looking at him, like his mouth agape, just like dumbfounded, like, I can't believe I lost to a guy playing this fucking guy over here who's a goddamn idiot. Yeah, it's beautiful. If you haven't checked out, that's
I didn't see a whole lot of the Golden Globes. I saw. I'm very happy to hear that Guillermo del Toro won for
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water, which is fucking
Chris,
awesome.
you saw that, right?
Just saw it.
I was a bit fucking pissed with fucking Natalie Portman's little fucking comment.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Oh, look they're all men or some shit. You know what?
The directors.
Yeah, the directors.
Yeah, I mean it was. What was the slogan they were using the whole night?
I don't care.
Like it's about time or time's up or some shit.
I get it. Like I get where people are coming from, but to me it's like, yes, you need more female director opportunities, but on the flip side of that, like, we're not going to nominate Wonder Woman just because it was a passably good movie.
Right.
You're like, that's not a good reason to nominate something. Like, Logan can't get a nomination for fucking anything. Like, I don't give a shit about Wonder Woman. Like, no offense.
Amen, dude.
You know?
Amen.
So
it's about quality of the movie. It's insulting and pandering to
like,
nominate somebody
to
just
me,
because
like,
of their gender.
Yeah, the whole Logan verse, like, to me, Logan versus Wonder Woman, it's 2 totally different movies.
Right.
With Logan, you have the depth of the character and the stories. The Wonder Woman, that can be done, but it wasn't that movie. It wasn't that movie. They were building an action.
Watching that again, I'm not as impressed with that movie as everybody else was.
Which Wonder Woman? I liked it. I
enjoyed it.
I thought it was really good.
But I'm not like, I'm going to come back to the same thing I've been saying for a year and a half now. It's like, I've seen this movie. I've seen this movie every time they put out a fucking superhero movie. There wasn't really that much that was different about it.
No, yeah, I can't disagree with that.
You know? And for that reason, I mean,
you could really
like,
only go so far with a lot of these superhero movies.
it's just yeah. I just think with the Wonder Woman, it's like, look, it was fine. It was fine, and I get why women were excited about it.
It was one of the better superhero movies.
Sure, and I get why it was great to see, like, the female superhero on screen and having all of the same problems that our male superhero movies have. Like, I get it. But it's, first off, that's not an Academy Award movie.
No.
It's not going to win. That's not an award-winning movie. There was no acting in that movie that I was like, that person. Like,
right,
blew
not
me
one
away.
character.
Right.
There was nothing about that movie that I was like, this is
and
revolutionary filmmaking.
And like I said, it has nothing to do with because of anybody's gender. It just wasn't that movie.
Yeah.
And it wasn't,
It's the same reason Star Wars is never going to get Best Picture.
Well, it's just like when people try to say, well, you don't like Ghostbusters because they turned this boys club into women. No, that's not it at all.
The movie was shit.
I said the movie was shit. I like these actresses. They're funny.
And
they
anything
have done
else.
great movies.
I've watched
this
everything
movie,
Melissa McCarthy put out, and she fucking
is
hilarious.
And she's the straight man in this movie.
She fucking carries those fucking movies, dude.
And she was nowhere in the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters was just garbage, man. It had nothing to do with fucking gender and everything to do with just garbage, dude. I mean, it wasn't fucking funny. The special effects fucking sucked and was used when it didn't need to be. The story sucked. The writing.
The cameos were pointless.
Everything fucking sucked about this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Start over. Try again. Well, like we always fucking say, you really want to make a fucking difference? put your fucking money where your mouth is and let the dollars speak.
Right.
You make something fucking
and
good.
I think the dollar spoke for Wonder Woman. Like the
Right.
people came out and forced to see that, and way more
and
than
it
saw
was
Justice
and it was
League.
fucking
Right.
good. It was good.
Right.
Was it some Academy Award winning movie?
No.
No.
But all right,
What were we talking about?
I have no idea. But
I don't know,
we
we're all
got
over
onto
the
that
fucking
shit.
place.
It's been a little bouncy on this one, but we were definitely we had started off on the Han Solo movie, and we
Well,
let's
I
just-
mean, there
let's
ain't
just-
much
well,
to
you
say
know,
about
let's
that.
just
Yeah,
cut-
there's not much to talk about. We'll come back to this hopefully soon.
Yeah, let's just cut and because I want to talk about something that like caught up to me over the break, which is the Orville. So, are you guys familiar with the Orville?
I know
I
what
am
it is,
familiar with it. I have yet to see it. I hear it is great.
So I had seen the pilot and I was like, all right, the pilot was okay. Like it wasn't great. It was just okay. And so I was doing some work on the computer and I've been homesick. So I was like, I'm just going to throw on come on, brain. I'm going to throw on the Orville in the background and see if I enjoy it. So I literally have been just leaving it on while I'm watching shit or like while I'm working on shit on my computer. It's the Next Generation. Like
Right.
I'm literally watching a Star Trek: The Next Generation clone.
Which I'm a huge fan of.
I love the
it.
Next Generation, and so much so, like, but it's like a Next Generation that's 10% to 20% funnier, with some dick and fart jokes sprinkled in, you know. But it's like, you know, obviously it doesn't have a Jean-Luc Picard, but I'll give you an example. Like they did an episode where they have a Data type character who's like this android character. And so they do this whole bit, and they have great guest stars. Like Liam Neeson guest starred on an episode, and Charlize Theron guest starred on an episode. But they have this great episode where they're trying to explain to the android what a practical joke is. So the android, he doesn't understand humor, and so the android walks in, and the fucking guy that's like the lead pilot guy has put on a Mr. Potato Head onto the android's face. So he's got little Mr. Potato Head ears and Mr. Potato Head eyes, little Mr. Potato Head nose. And he's like, and everybody in the thing is like, you know, they're kind of like laughing at him, and the android doesn't get the joke. And so he goes, yeah, that's humor. And now it's your turn to play a practical joke on me. And the android's like, okay, and this is funny? And he goes, yeah, it'll be great. This is how humor works. You got to get me back. He's like, all right. And so it's like later in the episode, and they shoot to the pilot guy laying in his bed, and it pans down, and his fucking right leg is gone. So the robot amputated his right leg while he was sleeping.
I've got to see this.
And he goes, and so he comes hopping into the bridge. He's like, you cut off my leg. And he goes, yes, now we are equal. And he goes, well, where is it? He goes, I thought it would be even funnier if I hid it somewhere in the ship where you have to find it later. And he goes,
I've got to see this.
And what's fucking perfect is there's this whole like storyline with Charlize Theron going on, and she like takes over the ship as you do. And so she's like delivering her monologue on like who she is and her master plan and exposition, and this fucking guy's leg comes crashing through the roof out of nowhere into the middle of the scene, and he's like, just ignore that. Like we like it's shit like this on the show that's like perfect. There's an episode where they go onto a sort of the Klingons of this universe is like the Klingons are like these super religious people of this universe, and they're like, and it's not the Klingons, it's whatever the Drax or whatever they call them. But they're like, we got to infiltrate. So it's like they show up and they're like, we have these emitters, and it like makes us look like them. So it's like Seth Rogen and the lead pilot guy, Seth MacFarlane and the lead pilot guy, they're in their little costumes. They look like the other people, and they're like, well, what do we call ourselves? And he goes, I don't know. What do we know any of their names? And he goes, I don't know. And so they're like testing out names, like, you know, and it's like all of these random things. And then they get to the ship, and he goes, yeah, I'm Denny, and this is Chad. And he's like, those are odd names. And then it's like, the whole episode, they're like, our God, Avis, da 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 da. And he's like, your God's named after a car rental company. And then it's like, there's this bit where he's like, yes, he's like, the humans worship a God. His name is Hertz. It's like, it's like as a joke, right? But it's like there's shit.
That's
like,
a dad joke.
It is a dad joke,
Yes,
but it was funny. This whole show is like, if you like the Next Generation, it is literally the Next Generation. I'm watching scripts that I would believe I would watch on the Next Generation. It's just now we're gonna add a little bit of humor to it in spots, and then there's just more dick and fart jokes. And if you're into that, like, you will be into the. I cannot sell you enough on this show.
Listen, you got me at dick and fart jokes. I mean, also, obviously, I love Next Generation.
Right.
I love fucking. I think Seth MacFarlane. I think he gets it.
Yes.
I think we've seen that in really most of the things. Most, not all. Most of the things he's done. Did you ever see that Western he did?
It was not great.
It was fucking not good.
It had some moments.
Talking about Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love that movie.
Are you serious?
That movie is funny as
fuck,
shit.
dude.
It's got some moments.
Oh, it's so funny.
I love Ralph Garman in that movie. Like his
Million
little,
Ways
like,
to Die in the
yeah.
West. I gotta fucking tell you, I saw it in the theater, and I took my daughter. We went out on kind of like a date night type.
Oh, you
of
gotta
thing,
watch it again, dude.
And we just looked at each other like, "What the fuck, dude? This is not."
But
funny,
that's the
man.
whole
I'm
point
just
of it
not
is that it's
feeling it.
really like they're taking all of those really bad comedy movies and they're kind of poking fun at all of that.
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't getting it.
All of Ralph Garman's stuff in there, he cracks me when he's like, because he's like, God damn it, is somebody gonna die today? I took half a day off from work to come see this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there were some moments,
But it's really one of the only things. I mean, everything else he's touched, I've always thought he's very
I disagree. I think it's great.
There's a great bit on one of the episodes where they're in a holodeck. Like the episode opens and they're in like at a Spanish. There's a gentleman in like a poncho and he's got his big what do they call it, the big hat, sombrero, and he's like, you cannot come in here, and like the three guys on the ship are like riding on horseback, and he's like okay, he's like, I have taken control of the fort, and da 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 da, and they're like, so they're playing Western like they did on the Next Generation, and the anytime they're in the holodeck, and then the guy's like, I will let you in under one condition, and he's like, should we have a gunfight? And he's like, no, a dance off. He's like, I have been taking many forms of dance, including modern dance. And he's like, he looks and he goes, what the hell did you do? He goes, I wanted to mix it up this time. I wanted to try something different. I thought this would be fun.
What night does it come out?
I have no idea because I watched it all on fucking replay.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I watch it on Hulu. So
I'll look it up. See when
I'm sure.
catch
I
up
think
to
it's
it.
on like. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't watch TV on fucking
Right.
regular broadcast anymore, so nobody does.
Super cool, dude. You're super cool like that.
Come on. What show, aside from The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, do you watch at release point anymore?
I don't watch anything anymore besides
It's all DVR'd, but
Like the whole...
the new Teen Titans. That's what I watch a lot of. Start talking like fucking Beast Boy. What's up, mama?
that shit is so good, dude.
Oh, I
I
can't
know
stop
people
watching
hate
them.
the Teen
Dude,
Titans.
The
Teen Titans Go.
voice of Cyborg? That's Ezekiel.
Yeah, it's Ezekiel.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
1 year at WonderCon when we didn't have a table, a buddy of mine and I went and we took Phoebes to the panel of the Teen Titans Go, and like the three guys who were like Cyborg, Beast Boy, and Robin were all there, and they did the whole freaking hour-long panel in the character voices.
Oh, yeah.
It was freaking great.
What?
And then they they answered all the questions using they would occasionally go into the regular voice, but almost the whole time they were using the character voices. And then they showed like an unreleased episode.
Yeah, I watch a lot of that these days. So I don't watch anything
It's a great show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dumb. It's not your older brother's Teen Titans.
I don't know. It's just what the boys watching.
It's freaking funny.
They fucking dominate the TV. So
Right.
just roll
I
with
mean,
It ain't Cars.
I'm with you. We don't watch a ton of TV
I
over
haven't
here.
seen
so.
a lot of Cars lately.
Oh, really?
Thank God.
We saw Cars 3 like
We haven't seen
multiple
that one yet.
times, 3 times in the theaters at that one. This is why I now have a movie pass.
Movie Pass.
Right.
Like, once again, if Movie Pass doesn't sponsor us, we are doing something wrong, by the way. All right, it's time for a second chance movie. Anybody got a second chance movie they want to talk about?
Oh man, I didn't know we were doing this. I've been writing some down.
Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know what you guys are whispering about.
Steve and I are over here doing side conversation.
Now, we were talking about something.
Because I know I used to get shit
Slipped
about
my
the second
mind.
chance movies.
The Godfather 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. Actually, there was a movie I really enjoyed, and I haven't watched it in a while. It's called Still Crazy. Have you ever seen this?
I remember it vaguely.
It's basically about this washed up has been like 70s rock group called Strange Fruit, and Bill Nighy is the lead singer. And basically, it's like everybody's making their comebacks, like their revival tours, and they decide, hey, you know, we almost had our heyday. You know, everybody's doing their reunion tours. Let's do our reunion tour.
Does this star that dude from Arthur, the original one?
No, not Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore. There you go.
No, the guy who's
Does it start the guy from the remake of Arthur? What was Russell Brand?
no.
Okay.
You guys suck.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did.
No, this is the
fucking
guy
do it.
that's the head vampire in Underworld.
Yeah, Bill Nighy.
Bill Nighy. Yeah. Anyway, freaking great movie, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. If you like, you know, 70s like cock rock, it's pretty dope.
Cock rock?
You know,
I am unfamiliar with this cock
you know,
rock.
out with your cock out.
It's
No.
kind of like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, they used to like wear really tight, like bell-bottom jeans with their
Oh,
fucking.
well,
with
I love me some
peen.
Zeppelin.
You can see
But
the
they, you
outline
know,
of the peen.
they're all like
nice.
you know,
in their
so-
50s and 60s.
You're like, that
and-
guy's circumcised. That's some pretty
Yeah,
tight pants.
yeah.
Can't believe you guys haven't seen this movie.
I've never heard of it.
Never. Heard
Oh
of
man,
it.
I'm gonna have to let you borrow it. It's a friggin' great movie, and the music is really really good. Trying to remember. Oh, you know who the roadie is?
I'm gonna watch this and be like, this motherfucker did like Dunkirk.
No. The roadie is
I don't know. Like you're reaching on
I
this
know
one by
I know
yourself.
the dad from Boondock Saints, famous Scottish dude or Irish dude.
Liam Neeson?
No, god damn it, older.
Older than Liam? No one's older than Liam Neeson.
Oh,
dude.
Jesus.
That dude's
All
he's
right.
fucking ageless.
Well,
Billy Connolly.
Oh, Billy! I love Billy Connolly.
He's the
He
roadie.
just got fucking knighted.
What?
Yeah,
He got knighted by a queen?
but fucking, we're talking about fucking what? Scottish fucking.
Yeah.
Knighted. Yeah, just fucking the other day.
Well, good for him, I guess. Right?
I mean, he brought us the word "fuck off," and just he just defines it so beautifully, dude. If you have not seen him to do "fuck off," YouTube it sometime. It's beautiful. Such a lovely set
he's
of
all
words.
fuck off. Right?
Doesn't matter if you're in an airport in Tibet.
Check out the cast.
Of course, it's got Timothy Spall and Stephen Ray and
It's a great cast,
a
man.
bunch of English folk.
Right.
Being English.
Oh, fuck, dude, bad teeth and fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's a who's who of British like,
we love
actors,
our
older
we love
British
our,
actors.
We love our. It's got Billy Connolly, so I'm in.
And
yeah.
he's brilliant in this.
fuck off.
He's basically the roadie who knows that this is not going to work and the whole thing is going to be a huge pile of shit, and he's just there because he wants to watch it happen. And he's like, he totally supports them, but he knows that they're going to fuck it up.
So do they?
Of course.
Like it fails miserably.
Well, it's sort of.
So it's not a redemption story of
It is of sorts, but you know, I don't like to spoil it because it's
nobody
freaking
cares,
great.
dude.
No, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's really cool. Now they do have like the hotshot guitar player who basically like spun out and is like gone nuts, and so they bring in like a young kid guitar player to fill in, and there's the whole age gap, and you know, so a lot of cool little things at play. Very fun movie. Still crazy.
Okay, good times.
So check it out.
Yeah.
Definite, like, you know what, Steve, we'd give Chris a lot of shit about some of his second chance movies, but like he dug deep on that one. I got to give him credit.
He really liked that one.
Well, look, man, I mean, it's not as bad as when he was like Godfather 2 or like Empire Strikes Back as a second chance movie.
I officially never said any of those movies.
Well, in order to prove us wrong, somebody's going to have to go back and listen to older episodes.
My second chance movie this pick is 2006's Smokin' Aces.
Ooh, good choice.
I fucking love this fucking movie, dude.
I can't remember it at all, but I remember I
It
enjoyed
stars Jeremy Piven,
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds, and honestly, dude, of all the movies that fucking Ryan Reynolds does, this is the fucking one of the few movies he's done where he's not fucking Deadpool.
No.
You know?
He's not that guy from Two Guys
I
and
mean,
Girls on
there were a
Pizza Place.
couple. He has a couple of
Right.
little fucking, quick ones, but this was fucking pretty good, especially at the fucking end. It gets real fucking serious.
And
Like,
Affleck's
pulls
in it
out
too.
And this movie,
Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers Ray Liotta from one
Alicia
of my
Keys.
favorites. Fucking
Chris Pine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris Pine.
I forgot he was in that
Yeah,
movie.
he's one of the fucking Tremor brothers.
That's
dude.
right.
So the whole movie is about a contract out on this guy who is about to snitch. Jeremy Piven is about to turn to the FBI with a whole bunch of information. So they fucking put a green light on this guy. Big money. He's gonna take down the mob. So they have got about 4 or 5 assassin teams coming in to kill him, and every one of these assassin teams have got their own cool little fucking shtick. You know, you got your super smooth black ladies who are former military.
Alicia Keys.
Sniper Alicia Keys plays one of them, and then you've got your neo-Nazi fucking white trash crew of the Tremor brothers with Chris Pine. And then you've got a couple of solo people who are coming in disguised and shit. Yeah, it's real.
Can't go wrong with Jason Bateman.
No. Right, he's really good in this. Definitely a lot of shoot 'em up, a lot of violence.
Love that.
That's
another one.
A lot of what the fuck moments.
I think the biggest one, and I remember we went and saw it in the theaters, and when that movie came out, Affleck was top billed.
Right.
Like on that film.
Yeah.
And
he had a very small role.
Dude dies in the first 15 minutes of the movie, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But like that by itself should tell you you're in for a ride that's completely unexpected when they killed the biggest name star in the movie out of nowhere. Because he's like doing his scene and you're like, oh, in this movie it's like if Tarantino didn't make a Tarantino movie. Like it feels that way, you know?
Yeah.
And it just, like I remember we saw it opening night and I'm like, this movie was fucking rad.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really fun, good stuff in that movie, you know? And it's a lot of action. It's like wall-to-wall action until the end, and then it's like takes this very serious turn at the very end, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a twist at the end,
right.
with some seriousness, which I thought was pretty cool. They follow up a couple years later and made a Smoking Aces too. I don't know if you guys saw
terrible.
This. It is not fucking good. Stay away.
Yeah, that first one was. I think it was like one of those things where you do like the direct to DVD sequel, just to like let's try and like bank off of the goodwill that this first movie might have had. You know. Although sometimes you get these movies that come out and it's like too little too late, like Sin City, Dame to Remember.
Right.
You were like, dude, this should have been out 10 years ago when anybody still cared about this and all of this looked revolutionary. Now it just looks old and played out.
Well, even that second Boondock Saints wasn't very good.
Man, I never saw that one, dude.
You're better for it.
Yeah.
Stick with the first one. Be happy with it. Right. Be happy that our boy is on Walking Dead now.
Right. It's funny, man. You know, Norman Reedus, dude, before Walking Dead, dude, he used to be fucking at shows. You could just walk up to him at a table and like he was just selling 8x10s of fucking like Hidden Blade 2, Boondock Saints. A few people cared. Now I hear, and this is fucking from very, very fucking top sources, dude. He is walking out of shows, dude, with trash bags of fucking money.
I wouldn't
bags.
Wouldn't question that for a second.
Not those little shitty white ones your wife gets for the kitchen, like real
hefty,
manly
50-gallon
yard bags.
You just hacked up a hooker into fucking quarters, and you gotta spread them out all over the Everglades. Trash bags. So. I'm sorry. Did I think out loud?
No.
Okay.
Now you said Shoot 'Em Up. Have you guys seen that movie?
I have never.
I remember, but I know it's in the same vein.
Paul Giamatti, right? And,
yes.
What's
that
his face?
movie is okay. It's
you've
terrible.
done that as a second chance movie.
Have I?
Yeah.
It is terrible, but there is such great action that you forgive all of the terrible shit in it. And it kind of has that vibe to it. You just know going in. It's called Shoot 'Em Up. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is a vehicle to shoot motherfuckers.
Right.
Yeah, that was a great one.
I really.
I'll watch it anytime it's on.
I've got a second chance movie for you.
Oh?
It's called John Dies at the End.
Oh,
I have heard of this.
This movie, it's like a low budget affair. It's Paul Giamatti is like the two people you know are Paul Giamatti and Clancy Brown. And basically like Paul Giamatti is sort of there as two guys tell a story about basically about how this one guy gets, like, I wouldn't say superpowers, but it's almost like a chosen one story, but it's like surrealistic drama is what I would paint this as, because there's all this shit sort of going on in the real world, and it's like, without spoiling or trying to, like, in order to tell you plot points, I would have to lay out the whole fucking movie for you, because it's like it's in depth and complicated. But it's one of these movies that, like, I went into it not expecting anything, and I came out of it going, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what I just watched all the way through, but goddamn did I enjoy it. It's ultra violent, which we all love ultra violence, right? And then there's a really fun twist at the end that I would never spoil, because it's like part of the movie is that twist at the end. But it came out in 2012. It's a little indie flick. I don't even know where you could watch it. It was on Netflix is where I saw it.
I've heard the name several times.
But it's called John Dies at the End. Right. And it's really one of those movies that, like, you want to go back. It's like there's like a list of movies that I would go back and watch every few years. Like Pi. Do you guys remember Pi? Yeah. The movie Pi from like a little black and white affair from like the 90s. And it's a movie about a mathematician, fucking brilliant work.
It sounds stimulating.
Oh, no.
It sounds exciting.
No. It's not like a drama about a mathematician. It's about, God damn, I can't even remember. It's been so long. I need to watch that again. But I want to say it's about, because I'm messing it up with, what the fuck was that independent film? With the time travelers, the two time traveler guys.
Bill and Ted?
No, fuck off. I keep wanting to say Frequency, but that's not it. It'll come to me in a minute. Give me a sec. Let me think. Primer. The name of the movie's Primer. So this, like, that movie, super budget film, like low budget film, but like one of the best time travel movies that you could ever come across. That one, Steve, it's like, basically these two guys get together and they invent a way to time travel, but their way is like the worst possible way to time travel. Like, they have a deprivation chamber that they have to sit in, and for every minute they spend in the deprivation chamber, they go a minute back in time. So in order to go like a full day back in time, they have to be in the deprivation chamber for a full day. Wow. But then from there, like, shit starts to happen. And what you find out is, like, the one of the guys has been traveling back in time without telling the other guys, but then the other guy has been traveling back in time without telling the first guy. So the two stories begin to, like, intertwine, and you see them going back in time. But basically what happens is, like, they go back in order to avoid running into themselves. When they know they're going to time travel, they sit in a hotel room all day long. And then they go sit in the deprivation chamber to time travel. So that way the two of them could never show up in the same place at the same time.
Interesting.
And then, but there's, like, once again, another super low budget. Like, this movie feels like it was made on like $22,000.
Right.
But a fucking unbelievably fun and complicated story. So my multiple movies for my second chance films, I'm going to tell you, go watch John Dies at the End. Go watch the movie Pi from, I want to say, 1996, and then go watch the movie Primer from 2004. So all fantastic second chance movies.
Recent.
Yeah. That ain't recent anymore. That's 14 years ago.
Well, still, I was thinking like 90s.
No, I mean, Pi was definitely from the 90s, but that movie, like, I just want to say it's like, goddamn, it's like I'm mixing it up with another film, but that was not my second chance movie, but it's one of those ones that I go back and watch every couple of years and check out. So, all right, let's talk before we get to the end here. I was thinking about TV the other day because Chris put up a meme about
Izombie.
Oh my god!
You know what? I kind of tongue in cheek joke about the Izombie. I know it's terrible. It's fun, but it's pretty wretched. But then, like, the reality of the fact that it's getting a fourth season, that this thing has been on for 4 seasons, and we didn't get a full season of motherfucking Firefly. Like, that's just a slap in the face of every great show that got cut short. And Izombie is on and on and on and on. I mean, I'll still watch it. It's terrible.
I got
but
half
I'll
a
still
season
watch
of Powerless, which I enjoyed.
Right.
And you got 4 seasons of Izombie.
It's just crazy.
So with that conversation in mind, we were talking, and is there a show? First off, a show that you haven't watched regularly, like for me, like I watch Community, like that's my
Right.
go-to. I like Rick and Morty, like I'll throw on Rick and Morty and just watch it. But is there a show that you haven't watched since it was on the first time that you're like, man, I need to revisit that?
Kinda. For me, recently, there have been like MASH marathons
Okay.
on like 3 or 4 different channels.
Okay.
And this was mainly during like Thanksgiving. I spent 10 days because I was sick, and every day it was like MASH for 10 hours. So I watched almost the entire run of the series.
Isn't it terrible when you're that sick that you're like, all I want to do is lay here
Right.
and watch TV and die?
But I
Man cold.
forgot how
Right.
great some of those episodes were. Like, there were some really phenomenal episodes in that series.
Did you find
And it
them
holds
laugh
up.
out loud funny even today? Because I haven't
There-
watched
there were-
MASH
I
in
mean,
a long time.
honestly,
a few.
with like MASH. I mean, they were doing some kind of
Edgy
some
shit.
edgy,
Very
groundbreaking
edgy.
shit for its time, man. It
Yes.
was really fucking, they hadn't done TV like that.
That's like
before.
when All in the Family comes on. I will
Great
sit down and
fucking
watch
show.
All in the Family.
Love
It's
it.
been a while since I've seen that.
Oh, and then they were doing the season. I was in the season where it was like the Jeffersons moved in. And they were the neighbors. And it was,
Right.
and it was like there was an episode where it was like the Jeffersons. George's daughter was getting married to a white guy, and it was like Archie had like this fantastic. He's like, now you know how I feel. It was fucking great. And that show, I love fucking Meathead on that show. Like that whole show is brilliant, and it's basically brilliant in a way that you're like, what an interesting way to like make America sort of look at itself, and all facets. Like everybody in that show is annoying. Like and that's
Yeah.
the best. Except for Judith. Judith's the only one that's actually likable. But
Right.
like you're like, I fucking hate Meathead, and Archie's
talking about
such a
Edith?
prick. Yeah.
The wife?
The wife, yeah. Like she's the only, because she's like, oh Archie, he's
Yeah.
so, she reminds me of my wife where she puts
See,
up with all my bullshit.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this here for a few minutes, and for me, I have tried. Like, I went back, maybe not. Well, it's a TV show. My favorite cartoon when I was a little kid was not Masters of the Universe or G.I. Joe. It was Robotech.
Ooh.
I was a fucking super fan of Robotech, right? And man, I used to record every episode on VHS tape and shit like that. Over the years, I hadn't seen it. I borrowed a DVD collection, and I tell you, man, that shit was
Unwatchable.
unfucking watchable, dude. I was like, wow, man. I'm just like, I'm not feeling this anymore. This is 30 years later, I'm like, ugh, So, I don't know. I mean, there's classics like what you just brought up, like I miss Nick at Night, dude. What a
Right.
great fucking channel. They play all that old
Right.
shit. I loved all that old stuff, dude.
Well, I mean, because it's like, you think about shows that like, I think there were shows that I was like in love with.
Right.
That I was like, I live and die by, sort of like I do with Walking Dead now. Like I love even though Walking Dead is like quality wise falling off a little bit, like I still love The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones, I am 2019 could not fucking come soon enough.
I mean, for me, I guess some of the most memorable stuff, and like I own them and I've already revisited them, was things like Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, Monsters, any of those, Twilight Zone. I own them on DVD. I still watch them when they do their fucking marathons on holidays and stuff like that. I'll still watch those episodes, dude.
I ordered Dream On. Did you ever see that
great
show?
show.
I love that show, dude.
It
Oh,
held up pretty
dude.
well.
Yeah.
It's pretty hokey. I mean, you got to realize this was the very beginning of HBO
Yeah.
creating their
that
own
was like
content.
that show had
Dude.
nudity, and you were like,
But
but not a lot.
It wasn't as much as I remember.
Right.
Because I remember it was like, man, it was
I
like
remember.
porno. It really was not.
No.
He was nailing ass.
He
dude.
was
It
from
was
time to
always
time.
yeah. He was
from
always,
time to
and there was that.
But there was
And
humor
then-
to it.
Dude, the Larry Sanders Show.
I love the Larry Sanders show. Dude.
Great stuff, dude. I mean, Rip Torn back then was
Right.
fucking hilarious,
on it,
dude. I was like, when I grow up, I want to be fucking crotchety like this guy, dude. You know, I mean, all that early HBO stuff. I mean, people think that they just started this content within the last 10 or 15 years. HBO's been doing this for a long time, man. A lot of original shows.
Well, because the reason I brought this up because the wife and I have been considering like going back and watching Lost. Well, here's the thing. I love the first run of Lost.
I'm a huge fan.
I never watched a single episode.
Oh, dude, it was really good. And but my concern is like with no mystery, is it going to hold up? And I don't want to ruin it.
For me, it wouldn't. It wouldn't for me.
There's a lot of shows like that. Once you know, it's kind of like X-Files, I guess. We tried watching the first episode of the reboot of X-Files.
This new one that just happened? I heard it was not good.
Carrie was the biggest X-Files fanatic.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the original stuff. Not a fan of the movies. She watched
maybe 15, 20 minutes, and she's like, this is not good. She said, this is like watching the X-Files movie. Which was completely different than the show because the show had something cool would happen.
They had a show like the last season, this last 6 episodes, quote unquote, season that they did. Like there was 2 good episodes of that run of 6, so it's like maybe it'll be the same. I mean, I think with shit like that, like everybody's bringing back shows from like Roseanne's coming back. They brought Dan back and they killed that motherfucker. And
how does that work?
I have no idea. But at the same time, it's like, you know, what's old is new again. They're just like, it's all IP that people are familiar with, so they're going to jump on board with it. I just like, for me, I don't know. Like, I don't want to ruin my first watch through because I really enjoyed the shit out of it.
To me, you know, I only watched Lost through,
and I never watched a rerun of that shit.
Right, neither did I.
Not once.
And to me, it would lose the mystery. It would lose the holy shit moments.
Right.
You know, you already know these are coming now.
It's like, it's kind of funny because in like a binge society, which like all of our shows are set up to be binged now, like I've rewatched Stranger Things multiple times because it's like, it's so fucking good. And I've watched The Walking Dead start to finish from where we are currently maybe 3 times. And it's like these episodes, like some of them hold up, some of them don't. Yeah. Some of them are fucking brilliant. And you're like, I would watch this 1,000 times over. And I'm sure you guys, like I've done, we've all watched Game of Thrones at this point.
At least twice.
I haven't.
Really?
No, I'm not. Yeah.
It's much cooler the second time.
I gotta tell you, and it's not, I don't have that kind of time. You know what I mean?
You watch it a little bit at a time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as much as you think with Game of Thrones. It's only 60 hours. I know you're like, it's not a lot, but look, I mean, you do like we do. Like I throw shit on while I'm doing other stuff.
I gotta tell you, man. I'll watch. Fucking every time Godfather comes on,
you watch the shit out of that
every fucking time, dude. I'm like,
it's a good second chance movie.
Here we go.
You know what I'm that way with? Weirdly, if I walk in a room and School of Rock is on that movie, I will sit down and watch that fucking movie all the way through.
It's fun, I guess.
No, I love that movie. I don't know why. And it's got my favorite line in a movie forever, which is when Jack Black is sitting there talking to the parents after he's getting caught. And he's like, look, I just want you all to know that I'm pretty sure that I have touched all of your kids. And I'm pretty sure they have all touched me. It's like then they flash over to this mom and she's like, it's like fucking, I love that movie, dude.
I recently have had some time off, right? And I've been working my ass off trying to finish this graphic novel. And I just kind of set one computer up next to the other one, and I have Netflix playing. And I have discovered some shows that I never saw the first time. And I even took a chance on fucking Winona Earp.
What?
Winona Earp.
Don't know what that is.
It's
Steve, your brow could not be more furrowed.
it is right now.
I got nothing.
It is Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a Western, and the main character is a descendant of Wyatt Earp. It's so terrible. Is this like fun at the same time?
Is this the Netflix "we have money, please walk in, take as much as you'd like" type of show?
I don't think it was a Netflix show. I think it was.
It has to be a Netflix show. No one else on earth would produce that.
Now I watched all of that I could find of that, but I also watched a show that I'd never seen, The West Wing.
You'd never seen The West Wing?
I'd never seen The West Wing.
That seems weird,
right?
That was like one of the most popular shows on TV for like 7 years.
Well, remember, I was in college for quite a while, and I was doing theater for a lot of that time. So there was no TV ever for like a stretch of years.
And
And then I became a teacher,
We
and
already
there was no
established
TV.
Steve did not watch TV from like 18 to like 27 or something like
Right.
that, wasn't it?
No, yeah, I was what? Fuck, are you kidding me?
No, you had a podcast where you're like, "Fuck you, squares." I was out partying and screwing bitches, and I could pull up the sound clip. I'm sure from somewhere.
Yeah, I guess I was watching The Burbs a lot. Love that movie.
Oh, dude, that's a great
It's a
movie.
great movie.
I think we've done that as a second chance movie as
Yeah.
well.
But you know what?
So
Yeah,
good.
I mean, yeah. Okay, right. You're right. Didn't watch a lot of TV.
But films.
Watched a lot of movies. Though.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, you're going out to the movies.
and
a lot
even
then.
still, I mean, like, I haven't watched anything down in like 2, 4, 7. Oh, I don't watch anything down there.
I don't watch
know what I
regular
mean?
broadcast television.
Yeah, I don't watch any of that anymore.
We live in a world where
Or
I could literally pull
rarely,
anything. Yeah.
you know,
It's
so-
all on demand. I don't need to watch live
Yeah.
TV.
Now-
anymore.
Plus, you know, like I've been in the cable industry for 20 years.
right.
And at my work, there are TVs going. I mean, constantly different channels. We used to repair equipment. You know, the whole room was just like, and we always had something playing. So there's a lot of times I get home and I just want like,
Quiet.
yeah, let's fucking turn it down a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Is anybody watching The Young Sheldon?
no,
I've watched 2 episodes of it.
Yeah.
Dude, it is so good.
It's, you know what it is, Steve? Did
Even
you-
like The Big Bang, like, you know, we watched the crap out of that when the boys were first born
Yeah.
and stuff like that. First couple of years, well, we were watching it on a rerun, man. You know, and like marathons on. You know,
Are you
whatever.
still watching it now, though?
No, not lately.
no, do yourself a favor. Watch like 3 or 4 episodes of Young Sheldon.
It's the Wonder Years.
It is the Wonder
It's
Years.
the fucking Wonder
But
Years
here's the
1980s
thing.
edition.
Is we still have the Big Bang at like 9 to 10 o'clock at night when we're trying to like wind down. We'll put that on and it's kind of mindless. It takes the character of Sheldon,
Yeah,
who has always been this douchey, self-centered asshole.
I like him.
Yes, but you get his backstory, and it makes him so much more likable. It's the weirdest thing. I can't think of a single show where they've done something like this, where it made you go back and look at the original show through different eyes.
Oh, I have the perfect example.
What?
The prequels. The Star Wars prequels.
I definitely look through different eyes.
Think about how much more you like Anakin Skywalker now.
I
Like,
would
you're like, that
not.
Darth Vader, he was a good young kid.
Right.
He was, pod racing, that was Wizard, Annie. So,
That was Wizard for sure.
all right. Well, let's wrap it up right there, you guys. I think we've podcasted enough for one night. I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've been getting here. We've got a lot coming down the pipe, a lot of new content's coming out in the next couple months. I'm pretty sure we're going to finally get around to making Steve watch Gods of Egypt. We haven't done that bit in a long time, but
Damn.
I feel like every year what we should do is there should be a movie that should be that year's Gods of Egypt, and we should call it like the Gods of Egypt Memorial Watch. Now that Steve will have his movie pass, and
Yeah, I got to get this.
we'll force Steve to go see a movie that he absolutely would never watch, and it's
Yeah.
like the worst thing ever, and just film him watching the movie.
that Tom Cruise mummy movie.
Have you watched it yet?
No.
Oh no, the wife swears it's great.
Terrible bad,
and
dude.
it's bad.
I think we should have a movie night over here. I'll invite you guys
All
over.
right, you let me know.
We'll have a few
We'll make it
beers.
happen.
Chris will
Yeah.
have like an actual adult beverage, and
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
nice.
I was going to ask you guys something. And
No,
I
we're
totally
wrapping up the
forgot.
episode.
No,
We got nothing.
I forgot what it was.
That's great.
Shit.
Save it for next time. All right, you guys. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Once again, I am the unreleased Han Solo trailer.
I'm Jar Jar Binks.
I'm not gonna watch fucking Gods of Egypt.
we, hope you,
I like that.
we hope you guys are having a nerd life crisis. Music for the Nerdlife Crisis podcast is provided by Big Papa and the TCB. All music available at bptcb.com or at iTunes. The Nerdlife Crisis is recorded at the Inland Blue Studios. Make sure to subscribe to the Nerdlife Crisis at iTunes and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nerdlife Crisis.